everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to show you a little hidden gem within the EquityMint ecosystem. We have something called the SDK. This is for internal use at places like BlackRock, institutions like JP Morgan that have their own necessity for internal tokenization project with their own mechanisms in play, where they want to further their technology without having to invest millions. Now, in order to get you interested in this video to begin with, we have to show you that of the 50 or so platforms out there, we're the best. And that's a bold statement. What does it mean to be the best? It means to be the cheapest. It means to be the only one with cryptographic proof linking the token to the legal agreement. It means to support atomic certification transactions, dual signature investor registrations, dynamic compliance questionnaires, investor onboarding, real estate tokenization, securities tokenization, a whole bunch of stuff. And if you look at this list, you'll see the others just don't stock up. And look what they charge. $50,000, right? $10,000 to $200,000. We charge $1,500 one time, plus a bunch of small fees like investor registration fees, etc. There is no comparison, and let's compare against the others. Now that I've got your attention, let's move on. We're going to show you this little hidden gem. First, before we do, what's it going to be like for you as an issuer to create your token system on our platform? It's a 15-minute process, everyone. You just click sign in, register, and then sign in again. You will need to download the MetaMask for Chrome extension. Logins do not include passwords, but do include your public address and signed message. Once you're done, you'll click Add to add yourself as an issuer. Add the information and then upload the information, and then reload it. When you're done, what you'll see is your information that you entered for you as an issuer. Let's say, for example, you are Velios Realty or JP Morgan looking to build on top of their permissioned blockchain called Quorum using EquityMint technology. Now, let's say you already had 6 or 7 token projects already issued on our system, the most advanced there is as of today. It would look something like this. You might have something called, if you were Velios Realty and not JP Morgan, you might have something called the Velios New York Trust, which represents 2 buildings in New York. And what does a token system look like? Well, it's qualified by only small amounts of information. All you really need to do is enter this information, and the rest is provided in the admin screen, which is up here, what we call token sale or just token. There are many, many things that you can do through the token side when you're already on blockchain. So, but for starters, you've got your token, you've described what the symbol is, what your initial max supply is, because it is changeable until you lock it. Very advanced. We support a whole bunch of stuff, time locks, staggered pricing. What you specify here is if you're going to time lock it to your purchasers. What you specify on the admin side, is it going to be gated for secondary transfers or permanently locked so that even people who purchase cannot transfer or not? There are so many options, and we'll show you all of that. But first, look at the token address. When you're specifying your token address obviously won't be revealed until you deploy. Before you do that, you're just going to add your token description and other characteristics of your token. Regarding treasuries, almost every contract is a treasury. Well, 3 or 4 of the 15 anyway. And by the way, other platforms only do 4 to 6 contracts. They're extremely weak. We have 15 contracts, everyone. This can't be compared, right? So look at the things you add. You can deploy on any chain. We don't have a native token like XDC, which is ridiculous, right? Little friction for entry. You can deploy on AVAX, you can deploy on ETH, you can deploy on BNB, which is now the Binance Smart Chain, right? Now, I was specifying the counter asset because we give you guys a liquidity pool too, right? A controlled liquidity pool, meaning prices can be set for min price locks, fees can be set so that on that liquidity pool, they must pay a transfer fee and they cannot make another liquidity pool, not on with the Uniswap standard, for example, on ETH, which means it'll be really hard for somebody to make another liquidity pool and bypass the transfer mechanism. There's so many security features in place here for you. Now, notice where it says Select Document. This is where you choose your subscription agreement directly from your local files. The document is processed entirely within your browser. Nothing is uploaded or stored externally, and its cryptographic hash is automatically embedded into the token's document hash field. Users will sign a self-certification message later, certifying that they read this document based strictly on this hash and usable in court. Out of more than 50 RWA tokenization platforms, we are the only solution with a patent-pending process that binds the subscription agreement directly to the token across multiple verifiable metrics. In the next section, we'll walk through exactly how that binding works and why it matters. So you specify what you need to specify, and then once again, you click Upload, and when you're ready, you reload, and it'll look something like this. Now, when you're done, before you're done, there are some things in here that nobody has, such as an auto distribution threshold for the distribution manager. If you have revenue or profits put into your revenue treasury, you can actually distribute a percentage of that automatically and have full accountability. Touch of a button, all your shareholders have a piece of the action. Now, we have something that for sure nobody else has, not in an automated way, which we call the distribution supply basis, which means as you're selling, let's say you've only sold a few, and you're distributing 20% of your revenues. You don't want to give all 20% of those revenues to just a few people, right? So you pick an amount that feels fair, where at least that minimum amount must be sold before they get up to the full amount that you specify in the distribution rev share percent, right? So we're not here to describe all of these things to you today, but it's clearly quite simple. You fill it out, and then you click Deploy. And then, in this case, this project's been completed, and I'm an admin. It's asking me if I want to redo the project, so I say OK. And then you click Auto Deploy, and that's it. It goes through a bunch of stuff for checking. You click this Continue button here, and you move right on to a 6-button process, and you're done. Folks, 6 buttons you press. Phase 1, Phase 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is live. You can come into the system and use it today, unlike so many systems that require that you get onboarded, that you get checked out, that you fill out an application. No, everybody's eligible here because you're responsible for your own project and because you link the document to the token. Nobody has this. This is completely self-sovereign, folks, and it's completely yours to do what you want with. So this platform we provide you is so powerful. Now, you're ready to deploy Phase 1. You just click it, Deploy Phase 1. And it's going to tell you got to pay the deploy fee. So if you've got at least 1,000 USDC, you pay the deploy fee of 1,000 USDC. You confirm it. And in this case, I don't have 1,000 USDC, so it's not going to go on to the next transaction without saying, hey, buddy, it's probably going to fail. So don't make the transaction. But if you did make it, as we've shown in other videos, it'll go right to deploy Phase 2 of 6, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, which is all free. You only pay the network fees, which, by the way, on most other platforms could be quite high. On ours, we have some advanced statistical modeling of the prior block, so we know you're not going to pay what the whales pay to make sure their front-running transactions happen, right? You're going to pay $20 to deploy a full 24 kilobyte contract, right? So it's pretty damn amazing. We're not going to confirm it. It's likely to fail. It would revert, and we'd end up being charged a couple of dollars. But we cancel this and just to show you what this looks like, how amazing it is, how fast it is. And when you're done, it always tells you your status. And what your status is when you're actually done is, in this case, it's saying, hey, you're starting again. There are no contracts to show you because you haven't even gotten through Phase 1. But when you're done with your complete deployment, it's going to look like this. You're going to see all of your controller contracts and a mirror of that as represented what we call the deployment state that contains the latest phase and other things not shown here in this snapshot. But look how many contracts are in here, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, not including a couple of others. So you've got, in this case, we've got a lot more in our controller because this is the model controller, and it contains a lot of stuff such as some inactive addresses, right? So like for example, in this case, no, there's nothing inactive. This is actually live, and it contains a treasury admin, a token admin. You, as a super, can add another treasury admin or another token admin, right? So once you remove yourself as super, that's it. The system becomes fixed. So you might never want to do that, or you might want to give the super authority to a special a special registered multisig, right? Now, all our multisigs are registered. You must register a multisig through our own registration Gnosis factory, right? This is really important. It gives an extra level of security. We're going to close, and now you see the deployment process, how wonderfully smooth it is. We're going to go and explain to you what the document itself looks like. So before we do that, we're going to show you something really cool that we usually don't show, right? We're going to go back into deploy, and if you paid, say, $1 million a pop for our and we're not going to do it through here. We're going to come in through the admin side, which you will not have access to. But if you paid the approximately $1 million fee for our platform SDK because you're an insider, right? You will be able to open this at the click of a button and do some amazing things. You'll be able to modify the model contracts that represent all the hundreds of thousands of projects in the platform, and for our white labels, which all have different fee structures. That's also on blockchain. That's another story, but it's really powerful. Nobody else has this. Of the 50 plus platforms out there, nobody else has this. But moving on, again, the SDK has 3 components. This is the most important component about how you actually are able to fetch parameters from existing on-chain contracts and then morph some of those parameters according to the standard model that's in place if there's any dependencies on earlier contracts, because everything is ordered from controller right up to the platform, right up through the controller factory, which contains our white label instances and all sorts of data and statistics on each of those instances. So let's move on. We've already got a brand new controller, a fee manager, and a token content manager that's actually hashed the latest version of the assertion of hash of what we assert the document is that's stored at this domain. And we act as platform registrar to certify that the domain did in fact at this point in time contain the document specified, right? There's a whole document trail. Nobody does that. If we were to bring in this data of our last deployment, we just fetched the parameters. You can see we've got the eMint subscription V1 here. We're going to have to upload a V2. We're going to show you what that looks like in a minute. That's because V1 doesn't have the token address because we haven't deployed the new token yet. We're going to do that before your eyes right here through the SDK, through the EquityMint platform SDK. So here's the issue token time lock. This was just deployed here, March 17th, 7:16 p.m., and we just moved it into the model. Now we're going to deploy the token itself, the new version of the token. Too bad, because we really loved this address ending in DC with my favorite number 88 as it's starting. Well, 88 is a lot of people's favorite number. But so here we go. We're going to do it again. We're going to fetch the parameters that we have in place for the last version of our token, because we're going to use all of them, except we're not going to use the controller or token content manager. All these addresses have been updated. Controller is the same, fee manager is the same, but token content manager and token time lock manager have been updated. So what we're going to do is, you can see this token content manager ends in 6C, but what we're going to do is we're going to toggle this to use the model. So instead of ending in 6C, you can see it now ends in F0, which is the latest token content manager. And the token time lock manager that it points to, which is immutable. You can only have one token time lock manager per token. If you got to change your token, then you got to change your token time lock manager as well. Although the content manager can support different pointers into it. Time lock manager cannot. So this ends in AA, kind of a cool address. And we are representing this, the eMint, not as the EquityMint token and model. Pretty much is what it says it is. It's the official token for the EquityMint platform, but it's also the model that serves for all the hundreds of thousands of projects coming in under EquityMint. And as we make updates and changes, deployed projects stay exactly as they are, but new projects come in, get to take advantage of our latest updates, which are happening really frequently, like 20,000 lines of code a day. I kid you not. We've got 17 agents working in parallel, and no need to say anymore. Issue token is the latest contract we want to deploy in this current state, with the pointers to the latest content manager and time lock manager, which are embedded in the token. These are really important contracts. What are we going to do next? We are here. We unlock the advanced tools. We go right in to choosing the file right from our development environment. So let's do that. Let's go get from our development environment, let's go get the issue token right now. And now let's replace it with let's add the dependencies from all of these files. So we have to select the contract directory, which we did not do. Let's do that one more time. We're going to select the contract directory, which is the parent directory of where the file resides. We're going to upload, and now we've just brought in, now we are loading in all the dependencies, both local and remote dependencies, everyone, including like Open Zeppelin files, etc. So now we've got the source code in place, and now we're going to compile it, then we're going to deploy it and verify it all in just a couple of steps. It's pretty amazing. Normally you would have an employee doing this full time. You can do it yourself. Your tech admin can do it themselves. This is highly advanced, folks. Now, and nobody, if they even come close to having an SDK even similar to this, is going to be providing it to the world as we are. So, and that's why we're .org, folks, because we're like the Wikipedia of tokenization. So you'll see what's going to happen here. First, we're going to compile this. The token itself is a heavy contract. We'd be lucky to get 700 runs out of it. Let's attempt and wait. When this is done, we will move it from last deployed into our models, which now everybody will have access to, right, as a verified contract. Projects themselves do not get verified. However, their init code is exactly equal to our models, so we have a tier 1 auditor, folks, that when you just press a button, you get that badge, and you pay for it, of course, but you'll pay far less than you would normally to audit your own project. Normally, you can pay thousands, $3,000 to $10,000. With us, you're going to pay $500 for that audit, even though it's the push of a button. It's certified by and represented by a tier 1 auditing agency, which you're going to need for your projects, unless your projects are not securities and there's something simple like just getting a ticket to an event, which we do. We have EquityMint tickets. We have EquityMint Biotech. We have EquityMint Public Securities, EquityMint Private Securities. You can do all of this right through EquityMint.org, but there's certain flavors. So if you come in through one of our white labels, then the flavors will help you set up all the flags that you need as an admin, right? So look, we are done. This just deployed 700, 23.51. We got it 700. Now, we're going to take a little risk. We might get to 850. It's going to take a little bit more time, everyone, but this is okay because this might be the ultimate token that hundreds of thousands of projects are going to use, so we want to make sure it's optimized completely as much as possible. I say might because we've been making so many upgrades, and there's going to come a time, and this might be it, where this is the final upgrade for many months or even years to come, because it's packed with features. And this video was really just showing you about what it's like to use the SDK, but it's also going to show you, and it showed you how to link a document to a token. We're going to show you a little bit more about that in a minute. But first, we're going to, right when this is done, we're going to take you right into the user experience. So 850 didn't work. So what we're going to do is compile with 700 again, and then we're going to deploy this. And then we're going to get right into the user experience again. And the user doesn't have to log in. When they do their self-cert, when they do their registration, they don't have to log in. It's all right through the token sale, directly interacting with blockchain, and it's a really smooth flow. I'm going to show you that in a moment, what the user experience is like. We do have to get at least through the sale to do that. So let's finish this up. We're going to deploy this contract. These parameters look good. EquityMint token and model, token description. These are all pointing to the correct places. We're going to deploy the contract, and we're going to select the regular create address ending in D8. Okay, and we'll continue. We always like cool last numbers. We could do that with create too, but then verification process is just a little bit more tricky. With at least a tiny little bit less security if you're doing it with Create 2. So we stuck with the standard. Create 2 is cool because then you can have the same address on multiple chains, on various chains. But here we are, 82 cents to deploy the token. That doesn't seem right. It should be what happened to the $20. Oh no, it is 82 cents. It was $22 to actually do that that multi-phase deployment of several contracts at once. So this is still quite low for the manual deployment side, especially since it's a heavy contract. But doing the auto deployment that you saw earlier is much heavier. So this is done. It's now pending the verification stage. The submission was rejected because it wasn't yet verified, but it is now verified, as you can see, verification processing. And so now we're going to go up to the verification section. We're going to go up to issue token, which is here. You notice that if we press the verify button, it's verified now. Verified on the ETH Explorer. You can go to the ETH Explorer and check it yourself. It is now an official and verified contract on the ETH chain. We are going to now save this to our models. Last deployed to models, we're going to take the old token DC and we're going to upgrade it to D8. And a lot of things that go into this. The init code is saved, so as we said, we can compare it to project init code. This is highly necessary when doing multi-phase deployment, and a bunch of other characteristics, the transaction hash, etc. We're going to say yes overwrite, and we're going to change DC to D8. So let's do that right now. And now it's been saved to D8, and it's updated already. That was really quick. Now the last thing we need all of the contracts to make a completely functional project. However, we only need to get through Sale Manager to show you what the user experience flow is like for purchase. So let's do that without further ado. We just fetched 9 parameters from the old Sale Manager. That's also verified, because what we want for our purpose for the actual eMint project is we want a purchase price of $221 to start. We have other characteristics. Some of these are fixed. We have as our stablecoin itself, that comes as a reference pointer directly to the token itself, but we need these addresses for ETH. These are fixed, and now we have to update who we're pointing to. Our fee manager address doesn't change. Issue token does change from DC, so we're going to say click this, watch this. DC is going to change, and see how it changed to D8. So now that is correct, right? So again, this just show you the ease and simplicity with which it is to use the SDK. We're going to move here. We're going to erase the existing source code, and we're going to choose once again the. Got to go back into contracts core. Oh wait, there's a whole bunch of crap happening here. Okay, so we're going to go into core, and we're going to go into issue token sale manager. And we're going to add replace and fetch dependencies. Right there from the parent. Okay, and now we fetch the dependencies. Now we're going to go right into the compilation. Issue token sale manager is also a little bit large. We're probably going to get I don't know what we're going to get out of that. We'll try it's going to be somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000. Let's see what we get. We'll try 2,000 first, and we'll move up to 5,000. Deploy this puppy, save it, and go right into the user experience, which is right through this $ button. Or you're going to have your own links. If you have your own links with the token specified, we'll show you how easy that is to use. We're going to show you how you just make your own link, and we'll give you a button for that, so you can just simply push a button and have your own link to your token once you're done deploying. And we showed you what the view looked like before, that view button, right? So you can always go in, view your tokens, copy it, and make the link that you're going to give to everybody for the purchase experience. So 2,000 did not work, oddly. Let's try 1,000, and then we'll go up to 1,500 from there, if we can. All of these contracts have become quite bloated since we've added so many features, and hence that's why they've expanded, right? When you talk about a system with 15 contracts versus only 4, you know you're getting a lot of features, right? That's the point of this. So let's finish compiling this so we can show you the fun part, which is the user experience, right? This is only for project heads, right? Users just want to see how fast they can go invest in something, and then even take a look at a little marketplace about where they can look at other things. You can even see private projects through our platform because it's all gated, right? You look at a private project, but you haven't been authorized by a referrer, you won't be able to buy that project. So this is not even taking 1,000. Wow. Okay. So let's try, because it didn't seem that packed. We'll try 850 and then we'll go to 700. We really want to maximize here because again, we feel strongly this is going to be the production environment for quite some time to come. So let's finish this up. You can always scroll ahead to the user experience if it's a little boring to you and you're not one of those people working in-house at an institution who might be interested in something like this, and you just want to get your project out there to the world as quickly as possible. You can just move right ahead to the user experience. We'll try and put a link in the YouTube video when it comes out so that you can scroll ahead quickly to that section. We'll try and make this whole thing. Yeah, it's not even taking 850. Oh my God, let's, fingers crossed it'll take 700 like it did before, on the last deployment. So if you could see my face, you can see my fingers are crossed with both hands. All right, let's see what we can do here. I know the distribution manager compiles at 5 or 10,000, so that's a smaller contract. We'd like to have that finished too because the token actually will not deploy without the distribution manager's blessing. I mean, it won't activate. So that's important. We get through at least the distribution manager, and then we got to add project revenue, treasury, all that good stuff that we'll do another time. But now we're ready. This is the issue token sale manager. These look good. The issue token address ending in D8. And all of these factors look good. Deploy the contract. Let's see, we'll go to phase 1. Ending in BC, these were horrible addresses, oh my God. We always like addresses that end in numbers for some reason, just psychologically, it's better. We're going to confirm this, 74 cents, deploy the contract. And moving right along, we'll save that as the model, then we'll deploy just the distribution manager as the last thing. And then we're going to go right into the user experience. So select token sale manager here. Just waiting for it to deploy. Now copy it. Wait, here we go. Ending in BC. We're just waiting for it to get verified. Still not verified yet. So I'll just wait till it gets verified, and then we'll change the last deploy to the model. As soon as it's the model, the world has access to it. So right now we're going to make it the model, and now the world will be able to use it. Literally, right now, we are live. So now you can use our sale once we do this. And there's a lot of new features in our sale manager, including supporting actual token purchase fees. If you have the right, compliance-wise, to receive a piece of every purchase that comes in. Not sure why you would want to do that, but perhaps you have a partner who doesn't own any piece of your project, but you've agreed to give him a piece of the sales because he is a sales rep, and not just a piece in USDC, which you can do, by the way. But in our affiliate fee structure, it's amazing. But you can also add a different asset, meaning the token itself. You can actually, hundreds of people if you really wanted to. Most ideally, the fee structure supports 3 or 4, either sibling fees, child fees, parent fees. It's an absolutely amazing arrangement, known mathematically as a forest of trees. So now we've got this. So wait, did we do this yet? It didn't. I'm talking so much I don't even know. It didn't. But let's do this. Save it as the model. Now this is again with the init code and everything. Yes, overwrite and save to server. Okay, now it's been saved. I think what we're waiting for is the verification. Now it's saved. They're both BC, and this is what we were waiting for. Oh, we just copied that. Now it's saved. Let us just do one more. Let us just do the distribution manager now. And again, we fetch the last parameters from the last deployment. We use the model, and now we scroll down, and we erase the last source code. We fetch the next source code, and let's get that. Oh, we don't. That fetched it from blockchain. So let me just erase that again. Okay, let's erase that, and let's go into choosing the issue token distribution. It doesn't actually fetch from chain, but it fetches from an explorer when you're fetching source code. So let's go in and get us the distribution manager, issue token distribution manager. Let's add replace. Let's upload the dependencies. Let's go to the contract here. Let's upload, and let's upload load dependencies. Okay, good. Now we have 103. This should go. This should go in 10,000, if not 7,000. Let's try. This is it, folks. We're about to go right into the user experience, which is the fun part, right? And then we go into the admin. We'll go into the admin experience first because you do have to activate your token, and then you've got to activate your sale if you want to do that. But we'll show you how to activate the token. We're really showing you everything about what it means to be a project here. And then we'll show you, if assuming you added your token address to your subscription agreement, because you will need to do that to be completely verified. We can show you that process. And that could be like in a second part of the video. We'll show you that process to get to be completely verified. But for now, we're going to deploy this. Does it have the latest fee manager? Yes. The latest issue token address? Yes. Initial auto distribute threshold. That means you got to get at least $5,000 into the distribution manager before it does a distribution, which all investors or purchasers have to claim from, right? Distribution supply basis is really important. We explained that to you before. We said ours is 1 million. We need to have at least a million shares sold before the full percent that's authorized gets sent. So otherwise the rest just stays there, and you're welcome to take it out anytime. It just stays there as frozen, or it never ever gets to the distribution manager from the liquidity pool, from the liquidity provider, excuse me. So let's from the treasury, from the project revenue treasury. There's no interaction between the liquidity provider, liquidity pool, and the distribution manager. So let's deploy this contract without any more waiting here. Are we using the do this one more time. Deploy contract. We just want to make sure that we are using create, standard create. Okay, good. Now it's deploying. Now we can go right into the user experience. As soon as this is done, we'll save it as the model, and we are done, ready to go into the user experience. Okay, confirm. We'll show you the most advanced user experience on the planet. This is what you want to see, folks. Okay, so we've deployed the latest manual versions. We're going to wait till it verifies, and then just upload the last deploy to models. And let's just wait till it verifies to be absolutely sure. Not verified yet. Let's just wait till that goes to a check mark. Now it's not quite. Okay. Not verified yet. Still pending. There it is. Verified. Now let's save this puppy. Now it's written to the models. Done. Done, done, done. Okay. A8. Very strange. A8. Okay. What we're going to do now. Here we go. We're going to go right into the user experience. We're going to take this. We're going to take this token. You will not be able to actually go through a purchase because the token is not activated, and we wanted to show you the rest of the project experience. But this is so exciting. Let's do this first and go into the user experience. So we're going to copy this token address, right, ending in D8. And we're going to go, instead of going right into token sale here for the admin experience, we're going to show you a pure user experience. We're going to say /token sale, which will just /token will work as well. And we're going to say call equals user, and we're going to say token equals that token. This is a link that you can just press a button to get after your token is generated. When we go to it, this is the link that you're going to give your users for purchase, whether you're selling tickets or whether you're selling access to a fund through the NAV pool, which we do have, that has restricted redemption days. There's just so much that you have access to, even if you're just selling tickets, right? And it's not superfluous. It's all turned off if you decide not to use it. So it's kind of like you want to change your style, your rhythm over time, you can without spending thousands of dollars more or anything more. So here you are. The token was entered here, and yet we still see this because call equals user. I've got a question mark there instead of an ampersand. So let's just change that, do it again, and now you're only going to see the user experience. You see it's much more lightweight. So without confusion, token address is entered. The user, who you've either referred or the public has referred into your platform, depending on what your compliance level is like, compliance structure category. So connect and discover. And you see a little bit about the token statistics. In this case, it's nice and fresh. There's only one holder. 210 is the supply, 210 million. The transfer fees are 0%. We actually have, and this should show, there's a $10 transfer fee. You don't see it because we haven't deployed the project revenue treasury yet, so you can't see that yet. So you will. And those are not transfer fees that the platform charges. The platform does not charge transfer fees. I just want to be really clear on this. The platform only charges one-time holder fees that are extracted from your platform revenue treasury. If you do not have a platform revenue treasury that has enough funds in it from the transfer fees or from other sources, because you're free to lower your transfer fees from the default of $12. If you do and you don't have other sources of revenue and there's no money for transfer fees, then the project will be locked until you place enough funds into your transfer treasuries. This is really important that the model is supported, and we'll show you the whole fee structure later. Now let's go into the next step for the user. They just click verify token and documents. Document verification failed, and it can't find any registered documents for this token. Now let's see why, and there's probably a reason for that. The reason is we changed this. So what we're going to do, we're going to show you here exactly what we did. We're going to show you how we're going to fix this right through our server. We said that the subscription agreement we're using is eMint subscription, the URL is eMint subscription agreement v1.pdf, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go right back into our server. We're just going to close this. We're going to open our server again, and we're going to go in here to our server, and we're going to open up the content file, right? This is not something I would normally show in a video, but what the hell? I want to get this done in one shot. So we're gonna scroll down here, and we're gonna actually set the alias for the eMint subscription agreement version 1, which this is, right? And we're gonna set that to eMint subscription agreement v1.pdf. Now this is with the URL that it's expecting to see it at is not eMint subscription agreement PDF, but it's expecting to find that at eMint subscription agreement v1.pdf. Verify again, and let's see if this works. We're going to do verify token and documents again, and it's going to work now, except for a small warning because we don't have the token embedded in the contract. See how it says partially verified? It would say fully verified with a check mark if you do part 2 of this. Part 2 of this is that you actually change your document again and upload it to the same domain, same path or a different path. If you use a different path, the old hash is still saved. With the original path, the hash was preserved by timestamp, meaning multiple versions of a document can exist over time at the same URL, or the same document can live across different URLs, all within a verifiable trail. This creates a powerful, flexible system for asserting truth across every edit and update. So even if someone accessed a document in the past, before it was changed or removed, that version is still provably real. That's because the platform cryptographically signs proof that the document existed at a specific URL at a specific moment in time. And beyond that, the user themselves verifies that they viewed and accepted the document regardless of where it was hosted. The hosting still matters. It anchors the origin, removing any doubt about where the document came from. The removal trail. The URL does line up to an actual document with the hash that's asserted, that's specified, but and the fetch attempts, you can see it fetched it, but the token evidence was not found, and that specifically means, hey, the token address is not on the document yet, so it just gives you a warning that could be spoofed, right? So we won't let you buy it in that case, but if you're an admin, you can. So this video should still work. But we go one step further. We say, did you actually read the document? The only way you can prove that is if you actually enter the hash. So that means you have to choose the file. Did you download it? you download it first. You just push that button to download it. We have it already, but we can download it again, and then we can hopefully open that. We're going in order to choose the file, we got to get back to our downloads, right, which is somewhere over here, and then that very latest thing which we just downloaded, we click it and we verify it to make sure the hash lines up. Otherwise, it will not let you purchase, right? So this is a safety feature for the user. There is a compliance issue found. The token address is not found in the document. We told you that already. Nevertheless, being an admin, it's going to let me buy it just to show you how this works. Wouldn't let you. So as a project, you do need that phase 2. So gave a final warning. Hey, document's authentic, but the token address isn't in there. So this is where we get into the fun stuff. This is a dynamic questionnaire based on your project settings. And again, we didn't show you this as an admin because we really wanted to get you right into the experience for the user. What the user sees here is a questionnaire that's tailored to your project, folks. This project is defaulting to a 506B, but it could be anything you want. You don't need to ask for investor status if you're just selling tickets. This whole part won't even appear in their questionnaire. Right, so it's really cool. For 506B, it's perfect. For 506C, where you need actual document verification beyond self-cert, this self-cert is still required because it protects you by receiving this base information for a basic audit trail, but you can add what's called a third-party registrar that has more in-depth, robust registration, and then they themselves hook into our system by providing that registration information or simply sending an email with their registration link that the user enters here, right? So it's really, really robust. So you, as a user, you just, you enter your name, you enter your email address, right? And then you're going to enter who were you referred by. If this is 506B, which is the world's best 506B platform, folks, because nobody else does this, where they require you to enter a referrer email address where you have your own referrer email address. But we go one step further. The email address of the investor can become a referrer if you allow it, depending on your jurisdiction, depending on this gray area within the ACC, within the SEC. If your legal department permits that, it's super powerful. It means you believe you've asked enough questions of the user who becomes a registrant that they themselves can become a referrer, right? So this is the gray area is that, well, did you talk to them directly before they became a referrer, right? But again, it's a gray area because it has been accepted. The point is we support this technologically. You see how it says if provided, it will be included in the registrar email record, but it's not optional. It's optional, but it won't be provided in the registrar email record unless you set a bit that we show you on another page in the admin section. If you don't set it, this will the investor or the registrant cannot become a referrer. I just want to make that really clear. These email addresses do not get uploaded, just a hash of these email addresses to protect the user's identity. The only email address that gets uploaded as an email address is you as a project for CCing this audit information, this untamperable email that contains the questionnaire. Now let's continue. 1917, just give a number, right? Give a country that you're from, and if we say USA, then you can't be non-US down here, right? It checks for that, typically, pretty well. I am a certified accredited investor. My experience level is advanced. I am not affiliated, I am not a terrorist, and I'm not an employer of the project or an employee of the project. Now look, my IP address is Costa Rica. That's a no-go. However, because it shows Costa Rica, it's going to make me check this that says, look, I'm just traveling, baby. I acknowledge my IP address may not match the VPN travel. I confirm my investor status selection is correct, right? So you can take this out of there and just not let them invest if the IP is off. But the truth of the matter is a lot of people do travel. Nevertheless, we record this IP address, so we make it known that there is this risk. You can have manual registration required, so even after they do this, you could decide not to accept them if something looks fishy. Even though self-cert is sufficient for 506B, it's not for 506C. So you can still be 506C, excuse me, and use our system. Now it's saying, look, fill out all fields. We missed something. We didn't select city and state. Let's do that. Let's be new and make a New York, California. Okay. Now, we are going to self-certify and request registrar email. This is such an important point. Let me show you something super cool, guys, before we even click this. Well, no, let's just click it. I'll show it to you later. Watch what's going to happen now. This is one of the coolest parts of our system. MetaMask opens. with the certification message. This is so cool. And we just added not only the Unix timestamp at the bottom, but the actual date. Fingers crossed that it comes out correctly. It did, oh my God, but it's off by a day. It's off by just 1 day, which means we're going to have to redo all of these contracts. But for now, we're going to keep it. But it says 226.318. You know what? This is actually right for UTC, because 22 minutes ago, it became 318 in London, because it's a 4-hour difference, and we show 8:22 here in Costa Rica. This is beautiful, wonderful, so it's working perfectly. Really important. A lot of people don't have this. They just show the Unix timestamp. We're showing the actual data on the contract here. This is a contract, folks. This is in your wallet. It's super amazing. Nobody has this. Not to this extent. We've done extensive research. Nobody asks so much. Let me just show you. You're the owner of the wallet, such and such. You hereby represent, as a purchaser, under penalty of perjury, under U.S. law and other applicable laws, that you access and reviewed a subscription agreement with the certain this is the agreement. It actually, we show the URI of the agreement. We show the token address is that it references. It's saying that it references it. In this case, it didn't reference the agreement, which is why we won't even let you get this far, right? You are asserting that what you read references this token address, right? And the basis of the offering is one of these. It's either a non-security or it's 506B, 506C, Reg S, you're a non-U.S. citizen, crowdfunded through a crowdfunded portal or through us when we get our broker-dealer partner, or a registered offering, offered and registered with the SEC as a registered offering like a fund, right? Non-security product like a service, donation, license, membership, right? Issuer reliance and discretion. And again, this could be like for tickets or something. This is kind of exciting. So, you understand and acknowledge that the issuer is relying on the truth and accuracy of these representations. This is really important, right? Hash verification and assent. By signing the message containing the hash, you represent that you access and review the agreement prior to committing funds, and you agree to be legally bound by all terms. Even if you're just selling ticket to go skiing at Mount Snow, this is so comprehensive, and it protects you as a project, and it also protects the user, because we actually verify that the document they sign is the one that you assert is the document that represents the project. It's really important. Platform fees. You acknowledge that the fees are not an investment, right? Obviously, in and of themselves. And the incorporation by reference. The agreement contains all the materials, blah, 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 blah. Now, check this out. The document hash is the hash of the document that you assert that you've read, right? This is legal in court. Timestamp Unix seconds, also legal in court, but we go one step further because judges really like human readable information. So we provide the UTC date. The referrer email hash, if you have one, is included separately. But there's something else that should be here and I don't see, which is called the testament hash. So that is one other thing we are going to need to add, which is the actual hash down here. You see this testament hash? This testament hash is something new that we added that the system does support. Why I do not see it? There's probably just something missing. And let's see. It is possible. No, document hash is long. That is a shame. We were really excited to be ready to go. That's one thing that's missing. It's not essential, but we love it because it means that email can't be tampered with. So we're going to move on with this. Maybe it's here somewhere and I just missed it, but I was really excited to show you that with the testament hash in there, actually, as part. And this hash, by the way, it represents the questionnaire. Like I changed one thing in here, and I'll show you this. I'm going to confirm this just so you can see it. I just want to show you something. If I change one thing in my attestations, watch this hash. It changes. Actually, maybe it stopped changing because I already did the confirmation. But normally, we've seen it change before. It changes. It works in real time. Let me say New York City. If I add another 1 to that, New York, let's see if this changes. Yeah, so there it changed, but it's not changing with the flags as it should. So that's something else we need to check into. And being that we're live, we need to do this quickly. This is the new version, right? So these, the testament hash is not that important, but it's certainly important that everything that's being asserted is part of the hash. Obviously, you want to check a box. The hash needs to change. So we are now going to go into the final step, which is the project email. We said that the project email needs to be added, and it is not added. So let's go add it. We're going to show you the admin screen now. As a project, this is the final thing. As a user, should all of this been good, you would get an email. You'd click this button, self-certified register request. It would actually have just sent you an email. You'd go check it, and then you'd paste the signature that comes from the complete registration with registrar signature, right? It's actually not a legacy field. You would actually paste it in there because that is necessary to self-cert, unless it is disabled. This whitelist signature automatically comes back from the server if you disable the domain verification requirement. Now, if you do disable it, it's less of a victory for the user. Purchasers like to see this. They like to see that the platform itself is helping them. And we're going to, even if you do disable it as not required, we're going to give them a check mark here that says, platform certify what you're about to buy, that as being at least the same representation, so that you can take it to court if you need it, right? You could take it to court anyway with just your self-cert, but a third party certifying the domain snapshot at that time is even more powerful. We act as that third party as a platform. So now, you would complete the registration with some pasted signature, right? And that's not going to work because it sees the format's not correct for the whitelist signature. So we have gotten very far today. All we want to do is show you now. We're going to copy this link. Actually, we're going to go back to this, and we're just going to. This is the main token sale link. We're going to go copy just the token, and we're going to go into the admin side just so we can show you some basics. There's a couple of things you need to set up with your project now that it's done before you give the link to people to buy. You need to enter your token address not as a user again, but as an admin. You need to enter your token address, then you need to click connect as admin, and then once you connect as admin, you'll see the same basic information, but the very, very first thing you need to do is scroll all the way to the bottom and pay the activation fee of 200 USDC and activate your token. Now, should you do that, being on the EquityMint.org side, the fee will go to the project itself, which means to the platform itself, which means in theory I can recover that 200 USDC as the platform owner. So let's see if this will even work. I really don't want to just spend it, but I'm going to just to see if I have 200 USDC. It looks like it'll work. There doesn't seem to be an alert. So I'm going to do this just because we're recording it. So just to show you that we can activate the project. And now the token is activated officially, and now it's just about activating the sale. Now we're going to do that even though we're not fully activated yet. And we're going to say, oh, I had to confirm that as a spending request. That's what I did, I believe. Rather than just a transaction to send the 200, I had to make it an allowable spend first, I believe. So I'm not paying attention because I'm talking at the same time, right? Very hard to do things at once. So we now officially submitted the transaction and the token is activated. So next step, we're going to go back to home and we're going to click the activate sale. This is free. You just pay the gas for that, maybe 41 cents. These are two things you have to do. And nevertheless, your sale still won't be active if you will activate the sale if you don't upload your email address, which is what you're going to need to do as a project, so you can get the CC audit emails whenever a user registers with that questionnaire, right? You need to get that. So I'm going to go back home now. Sale has been activated successfully. The next step, remember I told you we had all these flags? Oh, this is staggered sale pricing, set base price, set staggered prices, very powerful stuff. Our current price is $221. I could set a new price here just by clicking set base price. I got to enter a price, like $1, you know. I could enter the new price and then set the new price. I could also set staggered pricing after like thousands of shares are sold. I could raise the price. All right, so I'm going to cancel this. I'm not actually going to do that. So just showing you that it works. But now let's go into, this is really, really important, where you can actually set it's actually part 2 here. It's called sales registration mode, right? When you set the sales registration mode, which you can't do because this is for legacy, what you would set it here under edit registration and compliance policy. Now this is so strong. Look at all of the things you have access to. Is this a private offering? Is it referral required to begin registration? Is referral expansion allowed for the investors? Is a token whitelist required to participate in sale? Or not? And if it's not, can we have just something called allow sales registration? We'll show you that for the government green stamp program. Now, third-party registrar permitted, that's what we said, like, hey, you don't want to manually do everybody. You want to have a third-party registrar do really intense documentation, verification of who they are through like AI, self videos and AI checking of documents. You want to do all that. As you want to have a third-party registrar like SumSub do that for you. You just click this. Now it's permitted. It's not forced unless you force it, and there is a place to do that somewhere else. But third-party registrar permitted, may whitelist. So here's where it's enforced, where it says token whitelist required. Manual registration is admin whitelist, but so is third party, right? So if you click bit 3 and bit 5, then third party is required, okay? So U.S. persons allowed, obvious stuff. U.S. persons not allowed. U.S. investors must be accredited, because maybe you allow a U.S. person, like for selling a ticket, but they don't have to be accredited, right? Everything you could possibly think of is taken care of here. Now, crowdfunding, do you go through a separate portal that we interact with, or do you wait till we have our own broker-dealer license? A lot of stuff going on here. Now, you preview the questionnaire. This is the exciting part. Check this out. When you change the bits, the questionnaire changes. Look at that. If a referral is not required, then there's no referral email address, right? So why should they mention a referrer if you don't need one? Should we leave that in there so that they can still do it? It's possible we could do that. Look at this. If a referral expansion, investors may become referred. If a referral is not required, then you can just click referral expansion, just so that you have a list of them, right? You have a list of all the referrers, and you let them enter it, right? Investors and then referral will also be added. So it's one way out. Like, we don't have to change anything there. If you don't require a referrer, then surely the investor itself could become a referrer, right? So third-party registrar permitted or not would determine, you don't add third-party registrars here anyway, so that's not relevant. U.S. must be accredited. If no, look at that. Look at that. Accredited? No. So if they click U.S. investor, it's still not going to send the is U.S. flag. Actually, it might. We might still send the is U.S. We have an is U.S. flag, and whether that means they're investors or not, I mean they're accredited or not, is up to you, depending on what your settings demand. Right, so that's really important. We will still record them on chain as is U.S. or not. Now, non-U.S. must be accredited, register KYC AML, all of this stuff. Look at that. Register KYC AML. I'm not affiliated. This usually goes with U.S. must be accredited, right? So you should click this, right? You usually want this. Anyway, but that's up to you. The point is, it's really powerful. There's something else that was added here. Non-U.S. persons allowed. No, see that radio button gets so much change. Registrar jurisdiction what is that? Registrar jurisdiction verification required. That means registrar must verify jurisdiction residency. That will mean that either we add more self-cert stuff later, or that the third-party registrar is going to know this. They're going to see this. Right, so even though we require it here, the third-party registrar, if you have one, is going to see this. Or you as a manual registrar, your employees will see this. And they'll say, hey, we've got to get all this information covered before we whitelist them. And there's just a button right here to whitelist. So anyway, enough of that. But, what we wanted to do now, and this is the whitelisting the registered user, by the way, manually. You can do it with a registration note. And this is where the green stamp program comes in. This is huge for government, right? You can approve for purchase because you don't want anybody to get a green stamp, only approved people. You enter their address and then you approve them, right? And in order to do that, the very first step is the very first step is that they are going to self-search, and then you as a government employee is either going to approve them or not. If you approve them, that means you're either approving them to purchase green stamps, or if they're free, you can do what's called an admin withdrawal through this button up here. Through this, oh, is it up here? Yeah, through this swap and transfer right here. If we entered the token address, you know, you can just do a swap and transfer right here. You're going to do an admin withdrawal, which only an admin has access to send those green stamps to the participant, and they can only use them at select stores that you added over here on the admin side. We're connected already. Only on the admin side that you added through register user. The only user you're going to register is the tractor store, if they're green stamps to buy tractors, or are the grocery stores that don't sell liquor, right? There's many of them, right? And if they do sell liquor, they're not going to sell liquor to you if you used your green stamp to buy the goods, right? This is an amazing thing. And it's an amazing thing to be able to provide green stamps that are controllable. So let's move on for here. You will set the safe approval and then enable the reason you can't do this now is because manual sale approval required, which is only for the green stamp program, is not checked. Let's do that right now. Let's check bit, do we have a bit 24? Here it is, bit 24, and set the project policy flags to include that. This is going to change the flag structure here. Now, if we do that and we set it, then we're changing the default for the model, not just for us, but well, actually, yeah, it's hard-coded. The model is hard-coded, so it would only change it for us. The parameters we use and the changes we make don't affect how you as a project get your defaults, right, or the parameters that you use. But for our project itself, we don't want the manual sale. But if we confirmed it, right, let's do it anyway because we're going to uncheck it later and make sure it works. If we do this and we go back home, okay, so we did it. Now, if we go to the green stamp program down here, this is what we got to do next, by the way. I said we needed to add ourselves as an add official email. We got to do that. But let's go down. Where's the green stamp program? I probably went down way too far. It was probably up here on the... I can't find the green stamp program. I'm going to make a little table of contents for this going forward. I think it would be a lot easier. But let's close. Yeah, and I also want to be able to close this once we've opened it and it doesn't close. So edit. We need to have a bunch of things here to take care of. We need to be able to close toggle that. But anyway, after this, register. Here's the green stamp program that I keep overlooking. If we close it and open it again, did it renew? No, we'd have to come in again into the we'd have to come in again into admin. So, you know, we type that, we can say connect as admin again. Let's see if it refreshes the state of this or not. Yes, it did. So set sale approval is now possible. If you enter in the correct user address and you set sale approval, this is actually a smart contract address, but it could also be a multi-sig, so that's why it's allowing it. But the point is, now this user, which happens to be the token, would be approved to purchase. If the token had the ability to purchase through the sale, it would be able to. So if it were like an EOA, a regular user. So it's 2 cents to do this. We're going to cancel it. So that basically says now all sales must be manually approved, but not whitelisted, right? Because it's the tractor store or the supermarket that gets whitelisted. That's it. We're done with that. So now the first thing we want to do is get off bit 24, get right back to where we were, and because we are actually going with the 506B and Reg S restrictions for our own project, the platform project itself. So let's set project policy flags back to where they were. I wonder, were they 377555? I guess we'll find out, because when we review the video again, we're going to see what they were set for, if this was actually set like that. But let's save this as such so we can get off bit 24, and that's it. Go back home. And there we are. And now the questionnaire is, is also accordingly. This will change the questionnaire to show things that are relevant to the green stamp program, right? Which is, really, really important for government projects. Preview the questionnaire. If this were selected right now, it's not going to make that change. But in fact, byte 4 is not even shown here. So a couple of changes to make to support all these things. Nevertheless, and collapsible here. So next thing we want to do is add the email address for, again, all this is live, and it would be the very last production version that we used if the testament hash were embedded, which it is not. It's just a tiny thing, one line of code. So we do have to make that change. We thought we did it, but something didn't take. So now add the official email is right here. So the email we're going to use is registrar@equitymint.org. Now this should be a no reply, so we're going to do, make it very clear, registrar, no reply, right? That's what we're going to use at equitymint.org, and as the CC, so when they see that the CC is going there, they're not going to try and reply to it. And if they do, then you reject it. You have a bounce, anything coming from that. So deactivate, turn off this email, no, because it hasn't even been added yet. Store hash only, no, we need the actual email for the registrar on chain. This is one thing you cannot avoid as the project, to have this extra kind of security, unless you're going to completely bypass the domain registrar, not even offer the users that. Domain registrar, again, just has one purpose, which is to verify the email of the user. That's essential for you guys, but also to verify that the domain, the path, the URL, the doc URL, actually contained the document specified by the hash code, period, at a certain time, at a certain point in time. So let's confirm this just to add the email address, even though this probably will not ultimately be the token that the project uses. You can use it for your projects right now. You don't need that testament hash. It's just extra detail to make absolutely sure nobody can tamper with the email, but it's just as usable in court the way it is now. We have several active projects on the platform without that, and they're extremely happy. So email updated successfully. Now in theory this would change. We can go back onto the regular user side. In theory this would change the self-certify, where we see that up here we saw earlier. It seems to have disappeared because we clicked that. But self-certify would in theory change the that error message about not seeing the CC email for the project itself. And again, just so bummed out there's no testament hash in here, but that was the very, very last thing we had to do to make this the most amazing, amazing system on the planet. Now, document hash, timestamp. So yeah, above refer email hash, where it says chain ETH, it says testament hash. And where the hell is it? Okay. All right. So confirm. And yeah, so step 3 is still not engaging either. So a couple little things with this latest production version to take us home. I think we've accomplished a lot. So thank you all for watching, and stay tuned. Only more great things coming. We are going to be hosting weekly fireside chats where you'll get an opportunity to talk with me, see elements of the platform. And if you've watched this video, you will already have come quite a long way in seeing the power of the platform. One of the additions, one of the extra things you have here access to is you can see all of the, if we were in the regular mode, you can see all of the auditable projects on the system, right? Like you can just click a project, such as the main project, select the domain, select all the subdomains that we cater to, like Krell's, and you could see the Krell's project. You can select that project that's focused, and the token address appears. This is still our old token address, but if you put it here, I think it wants a token address, not a controller, so it needs to be just a token. But the point is, yeah, because it's not a token address. To get the actual token address, you would click the project itself and see the amazing amount of contracts that we have here. You would click the token itself for the Krell's project, right? And you would, if you were an admin of the project, you'd click here and click Connect as Admin. If you're not an admin, you can still see everything. This is highly transparent, but you can't make these changes, right? Now, I'm not an admin of the Krell's project, so in theory, I shouldn't be able to toggle the token gating, but I can try. Let's see. Yay, failed, not token admin. Caller is not a token admin. See, it works, right? So view the flags. This is a legacy project. They don't have flags, right? This viewing is just to see the power of the system if they were to use it, but they can't because they don't have access to flags. They would have to take the 12 minutes and redeploy, which we're certainly willing to do for them and all the other projects on our platform. We showed you swap and transfer already. We did enable our token, so in theory we should be able to do an admin withdrawal if we wanted to swap and transfer for our token ending in D8. We are connected. If we go down here and we do like an admin withdrawal, in theory I should be able to type a recipient address and a token amount. Like I can send, who is this? Oh, that's the Krell's token. So if I want, I could send. You see, this is how powerful we are. The token itself is a treasury. You can send tokens to and from different treasuries. Now, if I send to a Krell's, I won't be able to get it back unless they send it to me back. But the point is, nobody has this. Nobody has this kind of power. So if I send a note, test sending my tokens to the Krell's project, right? Amazing. Can I do that? And can they send it back? Absolutely. But I'm not getting it. Select worse. Okay. Because I'm an admin from somewhere, right? These are my treasuries. The issue token is the only thing that actually has tokens in it. And so I'm going to send from D8. I got a balance of, 210 million. I'm going to execute it. And let's see. Check this out. Oh my God, I can actually send tokens from one project to another. This is fucking amazing. I use that word because if you had the patience to watch this whole video, you should be drooling right now. Absolutely amazing. So now, let's say I'm not doing it, obviously, but I could. And then they'd see them there. And then they could send them back to me, right? There is just ridiculous what you can do here. Now, internally, you can do an executive peer treasury from one treasury in your project to another. So I want to send from the tokens to the sale manager, let's say. Now I've got a restricted sale manager and I've got other sale managers that pertain to the controller that are not relevant because again, this is demo. It shows all our snapshot history throughout our production experience here. So as the platform controller anyway. So I could send it to the revenue treasury or the distribution manager. No reason I'd want to do that, but I certainly want to send them to the sale manager to get the sale started. I'd want to send, say, 1 million tokens, get the sale started, and there's no note or description in the executive peer treasury. It's probably the only thing that I know of right now that's missing. It would be nice for internal transfers to also have accountability there, but we only require that accountability for external transfers because obviously that's more dangerous. You have to explain, why did you just send tokens outside of your ecosystem, right? So executive peer treasury transfer, if I go do this, it's done. I hope after such a long video I'm actually recording my voice. Does it come out? Yes, testing 2, 3, 4. It's kind of weak, but at least it's something. All right. So I can confirm this, and now I'd be sending 1 million into our sale manager to be ready for the sale, but I'm not. In fact, you know what? I'm going to send 10,000, so if and when I decide to test this, there'll be 10,000 in there. But actually, you know what? I'll send 10. I don't want to have any issues just in case somebody managed to be able to purchase our token. So it'll only be 10 tokens. So I'll send 10, and I'm going to make it 100. 10 is kind of stupid. I'll make it 100, and processing. Oh, because I didn't answer it. Did it come back up again as a second transaction? Yes, it's number 2, so that's good. 2 of 2 is what I want to send, not 1. 1 I need to reject. So this is the one sending 100 tokens. It's very dangerous, by the way, to submit multiple transactions without answering your MetaMask. And this is not good. Why it still shows 1 of 2. This is very, very bad. So I don't even know what the hell I just submitted. Why does it show it again? Reject all. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to definitely reject all now because I clicked confirm and it's still, spewing shit. So what's great is I could see what my balance is here. Treasury balance 210 million. If I change from issue token to sale manager and back to issue token again, it still says 210 million. So it definitely didn't take. And so if I select the recipient as the sale manager, assuming this is not my restricted sale manager, I think this is my actual sale manager. Is it? I don't even know. How do I check for my actual sale manager? I can go here. I can go into, oh no, not here. I want to go back into EquityMint. So let's just go back to EquityMint. And I can go into my admin screen and I could show my actual sales manager. Come on. Let's go. You can do it. Now, only at the last second here do I get this kind of delay. I'm in Costa Rica, lots of problems with the internet. Open deployer. I'm not even going to open the deployer. I want to show you this is a really powerful admin screen for just like taking care of like team management. If I did require admins, or if I did require not that the public could enter, but only when someone emails, the only people who email me could enter EquityMint or actually could register into EquityMint. I can just set that right here under not team management because this is only for admins, but under another section called another section. Where the hell is that other section? It's hard to remember everything in such a huge system, but maybe under settings? No. Under team management, it has to be there. This is for sub-teams. This is for, you know what? It's got to be here. I don't know why it's only showing the team members. Add edit database providers. That's very important in and of itself. But there is a whole thing for, it's in company settings. You see? I'm losing it. Right here in company management is really interesting settings. You can set the device key. If in our case, since we allow people to use our own settings, in the case of where you're a company that's licensing ourselves as a subdomain licensing, and you want the data to reside on your own, like Google Cloud servers, you would not set the device key, but you would set it manually on each person's desktop, or you could set it here, and you would set your own. You would set your own password to accept your own decrypted device key and a password with encrypted password to access your Google Cloud that not even we would have access to. Right? This is an important strength of our centralized system. Remember, EquityMint is built on a system that took us 10 years to build, right? There's a lot of stuff going on here. This is the centralized system that could be used inside municipalities. There's so much going on here. The fee structures we talked to you about earlier is in here too. Like if we get treasury configs, we didn't even show you fee structures, how each domain corresponds to a fee structure. This is somewhat what that looks like. The fee structures, there's a deploy fee, and it can be either percent or absolute. There's activation fee, sales reg, purchase fee, holder fees. You can add all of these same fees. You can mirror them or compound them with your own project. There's a lot going on. So on the admin dashboard, all I came in here to do is say, hey, what the hell is my sale manager? And the sale manager is somewhere, not in the correct order, like it should be displayed here. But the sale manager is token sale. Okay, there it is. And it ends in BC, confirmed BC as the sale manager. Okay, so we go back into token sale, and BC is what should be selected. So that's where we want to send the 100 tokens to. So we're going to do that. No note, 100 tokens, got to actually type in 100 tokens. Executive peer-to-peer transfer. This is a good place to leave you. After we do this, we want to go back to peer-to-peer transfer just to show you that I could send tokens to anyone. And so watch, I'm gonna send them the 100 tokens to the sale manager. I'm gonna go back home, and now I'm also gonna send tokens to me. I'm gonna send 100 tokens to me in regular peer-to-peer transfer, and I'm gonna have to pay a $10 transfer fee to do that. So if I say I want to send tokens to me, the others were exempt. The admin transfer was exempt because it went to a sale contract, not to somebody remote. The admin withdrawal went to a sale contract. But now, if I want to send them to me, well, it's like, hey, you got to pay a transaction fee. If you sign one permit to approve USD, then the other transfer executes automatically. So it's basically saying approve a lot more. You know what? You have 0 EMINT, but trying to send 100. Now, why? The recipient, because it's trying to send it from my address, which makes sense. I can only do it as an executive peer treasury to do it from the token contract, obviously. So let's do that, and we should still have to pay a $10 fee. So if the source treasury is the issue token and the recipient is not a treasury, it's not even letting me make the recipient, because it would be an admin withdrawal, excuse me. So, issue token, recipient address now is not going to be a special smart contract system, but it's going to be just some random guy outside the system. So let's do it, and it's going to impose the fee, which was probably $10, but it's going to probably it might show as 0 because we didn't set the project revenue treasury yet. So actually, it's not going to impose that fee. But normally it would. There'd be a little pop-up here that says, do you approve $10 or approve $1 million, so that you only have to do that approval once. And then it would say, you will pay $10 and you will be sending 100 tokens to this person, right? So it's not doing it, but I am going to send 100 tokens. And actually it says test sending my tokens to the Acryls project, which I'm not really do, but it just says test sending 100 tokens to private wallet. Just say to self before revenue treasury is added to token system, right? To token system, and therefore no fees imposed. Okay, so execute. Normally there would be a $10 fee here. And that fee goes to the project, not to the platform. In this case, it goes to the platform because the project is the platform, right? In your cases, it doesn't. We want to make it really clear. Transfer fees are divorced from what we call one-time holder fees and registration fees. Those are 2 separate fees in addition to your deploy fee and your activation fee. In total, it comes out to far less than any other platform we know of, and we showed you that table at the beginning of this video. So if I confirm, I'm going to send 100 test tokens right now to me, and this is, absolutely amazing. So receiving 100 tokens, I'm going to go back home, and that's it. We showed you an incredibly comprehensive video today, folks. There's only one more thing left to show you, which would be what would happen if you click the Treasury Manager. No, not the Treasury Manager. Yes, the Treasury Manager. This gives you absolute control for now. This is what you would use to control your controller, meaning add new Treasury admins. It's a super. Remove Treasury admins, right? We have so much garbage in our latest controller, ending in VO. That's our latest controller. We have so much garbage in this controller that, we don't know what to do with ourselves. Like we have, old contracts because we keep making new ones, but we also have probably a bunch of other things. So what are we going to do? We're going to click Edit. This is what you're going to do right here. You're going to go here. You're going to click Add Entity. You're going to add a new treasurer, or you're going to add a new token admin. Smart contract you cannot add. You can try and it will fail, but you can add a third-party registrar, like we talked about. You need to add yourself as a registrar if you are going to be manually registering people. That's really important. So do that now. Add yourself as a registrar to the project. Entity address, give yourself a label, and you can say Platform Project Registrar for manual registration if required, right? It's not required for us, right? Not required for our project because we are 506B. If we ever extend to 506C, we might need manual registration. So we might write not currently required, but you know what? Because it might be in the future as 506B, maybe in the future if we change to 506C. Now this is a hell of a long description. Let's see if it'll even take. It might be too many letters. I think we allow for 255. So let's see. Entity ID is just you know, is in my case, I could put like a license number if I were a broker, but in my case, it's just going to be, platform administrator, platform admin, right? And so add entity, or say, in this case, platform registrar, right? Really important. Add the entity, and boom, it's now going to be added to my controller as a registrar, and then I can remove it as well too. It costs about 26 cents currently to play around with the most powerful controller on blockchain, folks. Most people don't even use them. They use what are called access roles. So there is just so much stuff going on here. I hope you enjoyed our video and really find how impressive we are, and how if you watch this whole video, you are now an certified expert with our platform. Please register, please sign in, and once again, I'm just sorry I didn't put my little face in the bottom of the video there, in that little screen like I would with in my other videos. But you guys get the gist. I'm going to try to put the subtitles in here too, so you can actually read along as I speak. And this is the first video I've done that's extremely well-rounded. It shows you every aspect of the platform. Once again, thank you very much for watching the EquityMint platform overall video, both for project admins, whitelisters, and is this still recording? Yeah, because whitelisters and users, purchasers, investors alike. The only reason I didn't stop it now is because, remember, we talked about project fees, right, as pertains to different entities. So if I enter the controller, this controller, and we talked about like an amazing affiliate fee structure. If I load in the domain fees for the EquityMint project, I get one thing, but if I load it in for another project, like let's say the DelNorte project, and I grab the fees from the manager, I get two fees, right? Well, actually, this still shows one. Let's try this one, Akrels as a subdomain, for example. Yeah, it's only grabbing one entity, so let's check it here to be absolutely sure. Load existing from platform universe, and see, there are 3 fees here, and this is correct. These are the 3 fee structures associated with Akrels. This is public information, folks, so it's there. Everybody can see it, and that's one of the beauties of blockchain. This is our fee arrangement, and we reduce fees for all our white labels rather than coming straight in through the platform. So there's always an incentive for you guys to use a white label. But I just want to show you this, and that had 3 fees. That did work, right? If we do here, now that I put DelNorte in as a subdomain, and we load existing fees for Platform Universe, you'll see 2 fees, right? The DelNorte ELA Treasury. This is working perfectly, like a charm. Why, when we auto-grab fees from Fee Manager, do we only get 1? Because this is the Fee Manager associated with the controller, associated with the latest controller for our token, and indeed, it is correct. There's only 1. Why doesn't go to me, or doesn't go to any admin in the EquityMint platform. Because EquityMint makes money, our purchasers make money automatically based on whatever percent we put in, which I believe is 20%. I hope you guys appreciate this beyond a shadow of a doubt as being the very, very best platform you could select in doing your issuance, whether it's tickets, whether you are a serious hedge fund managing millions of dollars that requires redemption periods, whether you're a simple SPV, whether you're a private equity shopping mall that has non-transferable tokens going to just 10 or 20 investors, right? This system is the deal. All right. Thanks again.